Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. So I got some rather interesting news. I'm not too sure what this means, but Jason Hawes posted a video today, and I want to go ahead and talk about it. As a matter of fact, there's going to be quite a few videos that are going to be coming out that are going to be talking about some very interesting things, I think. Now, the video is called Save the Conjuring House, which, if you guys don't know, the Conjuring House is going up for auction at the end of the month, Halloween itself. So if you are excited about this news and excited about this topic, you might be excited to hear that something could be happening with the Conjuring House, whether it's going to open to the public, whether it's going to be used for investigations, who knows. But the main thing and most important thing I think here is, for me at least, is to see the place be restored to its glory. The place has been sitting there for probably well over a year, and it's probably taken a lot of damage. Nobody's been around to take care of it. It's an old house. It needs to be taken care of. So that's what I'm hoping at the end of the day happens, no matter who gets it. But I want to watch Jason Hawes' video because I myself, I know there are people out there who disagree, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with me on everything. I like Jason Hawes. I've always liked what he represents in the paranormal. I like his stance on a lot of things. I agree with a lot of what he has to say. I think he seems like a genuinely good guy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. Let's dive into it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're around here. I really appreciate it, guys. We're almost to 50,000 subs. Huge win for me. Thank you so much for all that you've done. Let's go ahead and take a look at what Jason has to say.
Hey everybody, Jason Hawes here. So many of you have been sending me a video that was recently posted by Andrea Perrin. And if you don't know who Andrea Perrin is,
Okay, before we really get into this, yes, I have heard about the Andrea Perrin video. It was brought to my attention on a live stream, and I unfortunately could not find the video. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it's on social media somewhere. But I was trying to find it fast, so if I could react to it, but I couldn't find it. But basically what people were telling me was that Andrea Perrin had made a video. I guess people were saying she was crying. I really don't know. I can't confirm that, obviously. But they were saying she was crying, and she was pleading that Jason Hawes would be the one to buy the Conjuring house, the old Arnold estate, or the Harrisville farmhouse. She does not want this house to fall in the hands of somebody like another Jacqueline Nunez. She doesn't want this house to fall into the hands of another, or at like a Zach Bagans, I'm sure. I know that's a big name that comes up, but people just really don't want him to go near it because it seems like anymore these kind of places are being purchased for not really necessarily the history purposes, but for the money making purposes, because they know what they have and they know they're going to make a shitload of money off of it. And that's fine. I get why they would, but at the same time, the respect and the respect for the history and the property should be at the helm. The welfare of the property should be at the helm of everything before you open it for business and try to make as much money as you can. Because we look back on the last few years with the Conjuring House, and I think everybody would be in an agreement that it was mainly known as the Content House after a while. Sam and Colby, I think, are really the biggest reason why that really was. When we think about the Conjuring House now, we think about that Sam and Colby series. We survive in the Conjuring House. A lot of people do, because that's basically what it became. And then, with everything that happened, yeah, it's very hard to see it in any other light. Now, I know why there are going to be people who are going to be against the idea of Jason Hawes buying this place, but I also want to go ahead and say that out of anybody out there who could potentially have some money to go after this place and to go ahead and buy this place, I think Jason's a good pick. Okay, I realize that I've said this before in the past where I'm like, I think a certain person would be great to buy a certain property, and I may be wrong in certain occasions. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but Jason does seem like he certainly seems better than a Zach Bagans, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see what he has to say. But I did hear about that video that Andrea was pleading that Jason would be the one to go in there and buy it, because we all know the auction's coming up. So we'll see.
she's pretty much the family. She's part of the family that was involved in the original Conjuring House, which kickstarted this whole franchise. And Andrea made a video pleading for me to step in to reconsider getting involved in the Conjuring House because her, as well as many others, have expressed a serious concern on what's going to happen to that property if it's picked up by the wrong individuals. And I understand. I have to say I not just understand, but I totally agree. It's a concern because I've seen what I've seen happen in the past with some of these properties is heartbreaking because just being priced out of the market and everything else.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And something that, of course, I myself don't like to see when the pricing is too high. It's not understandable. Even if there are legitimate like reasons to price it that high, it's very it's a little disheartening is not really the word I'd want to use, but it's disappointing to hear because you really want a lot of people to have the opportunity to go to these places and to go and investigate these locations, but not if you're already talking the price is already over $1,000. That's what the original that's what the Conjuring house about 2 to 3 years ago was pricing people was about $1,200 to $1,300 per investigation, and that's not a small amount of money. That's not a small chunk of change. That's a good chunk of change just to be throwing out to go to a house that there's no guarantee you're going to catch anything. And most real paranormal investigators or investigations, when going to these locations, catching real paranormal evidence is not something that just happens like it does in a lot of these ghost hunting channels. So you're paying that money for a lot of these ghost hunting channels that are very successful, that are entertainment channels at their core. They have no problem with dropping money like that. But for real paranormal investigators who really don't make money doing what they love to do, like these ghost hunters, it's a lot of money. And most of the time, I'm sure these people have to come together with money and pay for it. Like if you have a group of a group of people that you go and ghost hunt with, they all have to chime in and help you pay for it because it's just too expensive anymore. And again, it's not worth one person to pay over $1,200 to pay for a night at this location that you're really not even sure if you're going to catch anything, right? The only things that you're going to catch are maybe creaks and explainable old house problems. That's a reality that could really happen. And that's why a lot of people today have issues with these ghost hunting channels because they drop money like it's nothing. They go to these locations and they're claiming they catch all of this shit that is easily explained, right? Right. But when they go there and they try to catch this stuff, it never happens. And they're paying this money and it's taking a toll on them to even do it. So if these places are going to open, try to make it reasonable. $500 is not crazy. Okay, $500 isn't crazy. Crazy if you want to chime in with a group of friends, that's fine. But like 1,000 and over is costly. Okay, even $500 to a lot of people is costly, but it's more reasonable than going over 1,000. Obviously, if there's benefits and stuff, that does add in for sure. But not everybody needs those benefits. People were arguing, well, what if they add in this, that, and this? Free food, that stuff. Okay, fine, but not everybody needs that. Some people, people might just take a stroll down to McDonald's really quick before they come here and investigate. That's what we did with the Blair House. We went to the McDonald's before we came up to the Blair House and we investigated. We don't need food from them, we don't need that extra stuff that makes it feel like they need to, or that would give them a right to charge us more. I would just be fine with just bringing my own stuff and using my own stuff, a sleeping bag, or like I don't need a blanket that they offer. I can bring a sleeping bag or something. That's fine. These places, I get it. I do, but at the same time, I don't, because I want everybody to have an opportunity to go to these locations and see if they can find something. But at this rate, it's just not looking that way for a lot of people.
So, that being said, I've said many times that I had no interest in buying the Conjuring house, and I still 100% feel that way. But you all are right. The house is going up for auction. And if someone doesn't step in, it's most likely going to fall into the hands of people who think it's just a money making machine. And that's not what this place is about. It's not what it ever should have been about. Because
No, you're right. And that's the sad part is that I know there are people who probably think that there's more people than Jason Hawes out there who probably have good intentions. That is for sure true. But right now, the top dogs I'm thinking of that will definitely buy this place, but the people who I'm thinking of on the top of my mind right now who definitely are interested in buying this place, I'm not 100% convinced they are going to be thinking about the history first. Okay, the property itself first. They're going to be making this place another content house. And that's so unfortunate of me to start thinking because I don't want to think that way, but I'm beginning to feel that way. That this place is only going to be a content house for places for a lot of people to invite their very successful ghost hunting friends to do investigations while everybody else is just, they're not going to be able to afford it. That's a reality. Okay? Like money is very scarce in today's society. Not everybody has the money to just throw and stay a couple nights or a night at a supposed haunted location. Not everybody has the money to do that, so they're not going to do it. But I'll tell you who will be, and those are the very successful ghost hunters or rich people who have no problem with doing that whatsoever. But for everybody else, you kind of have to just stand there and watch, which is sad, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who would love a chance to go to these places. But Jason is right. It's getting to the point where it's like the people who are on the top of the list for me right now, who I can think of, I don't know if they're going to make it for everybody, or if they're going to make it reasonable, which is sad. I'm not going to drop any names, obviously, but I'm just beginning to feel that way more and more.
Conjuring House has brought together investigators from all different walks of life, from believers, non believers, skeptics, debunkers, and it's brought them all together in one place. And it's also been a place where so many of us have connected and so many of us have learned from one another. So, and I think that's important. That needs to continue. So, this is something I've never done before. So, this is new ground for me. But that being said, I think we can do this as a community. I think we can really make this a historic movement and just say enough is enough.
Okay. Okay. Well, the second when he said a community, I've seen the GoFundMe link. Okay. All right. Interesting. So instead of him taking all the credit, he wants there to be an opportunity for everybody who gives a shit about the location, who gives a shit about the history, to chime in together and buy the house together and open it up for everybody to have a chance to come here. That is an interesting. That is a very wholesome kind of. That almost brings a tear to my eye. That is very wholesome and a very great opportunity for a lot of people. All right.
Enough. So, I'm going to be launching a GoFundMe to save this property. All right, to try to save the Conjuring House. And I plan to try to invest as much of my own money as needed to make this happen. Now, this isn't saying that we're going to win it, but we're damn well going to try. And we won't know if we don't try. So I think we as a community and others outside the community, we can all come together and see what we can raise. And if so, then let's get the Conjuring House. Let's save it. Let's fix it back up. Let's open it up. Let's allow people to visit it, to investigate it, to check it out, to spend time there. Not just people who can afford $2,500 or $3,000 a night or who have huge YouTube followings. This should be for everyone. And the only way to do that is by coming together and as a community and saying enough is enough and really doing this.
Wow.
So now,
Wow. I'm speechless. He just said how he literally just said how a lot of us feel. And I think that's a really great thing to be, yes, at the helm of it, but giving everybody an opportunity to chime in and help save the property that they really give a shit about. Instead of letting some individual who is looking at it not as a historical location, but as a money-making opportunity, and buy them out, if possible, to then say that we did this. This brings us fucking my cry. This actually gives me a lot of joy. Like, I'm actually genuinely feeling so gosh damn relieved that something like this just happened.
I want it known, first off, if we succeed, we'll form an LLC and we'll involve people who've been parts of the Conjuring House's history to keep it running, to run it daily, because I can't be involved in the day-to-day operations. Um, I just can't. But I have no problem stepping forward and trying to be the person to make this happen,
Okay.
to be in charge of it or whatever. But I can't run the day-to-day operations. So we'll figure that out. Again, we can make people from its history who familiar with it, who want to preserve it, who want to make sure that it's being taken care of. We can put them, to make sure they're running the daily operations and going from there. But
Okay.
I just understand that this is purely about preserving the Conjuring House for the community and for future generations. This GoFundMe isn't about making any profit. It'll be whatever's raised. I mean, if we raise more than what's needed, great. Then it'll go into the upkeep of the house. It'll go into fixing whatever needs to be fixed because this property has sat there for over a year
No, yeah,
with
no. It
nobody taking care.
it definitely needs it. If there is any extra, yeah, put it towards. Put it, but yeah. Unless we don't, the community does not win it. Obviously they're probably going to get refunded. But if they do win, yeah, 100% put that money towards fixing that property, making sure everything looks good, everything is solid, everything is just right where it needs to be. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
Of it. Nobody doing anything. And so we have to have some concerns about the condition it's going to be in,
I'm ready to
and
see it.
whether the floors, whether, yeah, anything. To be honest with you,
There's probably going to be sorry, the pause right there. There's going to be potential need to replace probably some things, especially if the house has taken quite a bit of damage since it's been sitting there, which is sad. I hope not. I hope there, some of the original stuff is still okay, but if need be, it's probably going to have to happen, unfortunately.
and I know many people who'd step in and help out with that as well. So I mean, if we're able to raise enough to win it at auction, then we'll do it. And if we're able to raise more than enough,
We'll
then
fix it.
we'll use the remainder for maintenance to fix it up, to get it open as
I'm sure you got the plumbing down. I'm sure.
quickly as possible for everyone, and go from there. But I agree. I agree with Andrea, and I agree with so many that this is our last chance to save it. And I would not be stepping in if I wasn't if people didn't plead for me to step in, and if I didn't think that this was one of our last chances to keep this historic property from being lost forever.
That's fucking sad, man. Like, that's actually really sad. When we sit back and look at it, like, this is pretty much the last opportunity anybody here who actually gives a shit about this historical location, who gives a shit about the history, who wants to know if it's really haunted, the last chance you're going to have to step in and throw a little bit of money that way just to see if we can try to make sure this place does not fall into the hands of somebody who is just outright greedy and just wants to use the place for selfish purposes. That is really scary to think about. And that there are more out there who feel that way. I actually, this whole message right here is very powerful to me. As somebody who actually has always wanted to go to this location just to even have an opportunity to go. To see this actually happening, I mean, I definitely will be sharing the GoFundMe. I probably will donate to it too because I do want to see it go into the right hands. I don't want to see it go into somebody that's not going to give everybody an opportunity to go here and to have that opportunity to film a video, to do something here and to actually just check out the history. I want people to have an opportunity for all these locations to be able to who's enthusiastic about the paranormal. I want people who are enthusiastic no matter where you stand on the spectrum, debunker, skeptic, paranormal investigator, ghost hunter, content creator, entertainer, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're interested and you're passionate about the subject, everybody should have an opportunity to go to this location and check it out once in their lives for a reasonable price. I 100% agree with that. I think that is amazing. And I do agree that this could be the beginning of something big for the paranormal. You know, starting GoFundMe's to see if communities want to come together to try to get this property, make sure it is preserved for generations to come. I think that is fucking phenomenal. And Jason's not a bad guy to be helming it. Again, I know people have a problem. I know people look at the whole Satori and Cody thing. Look, I get it. I personally don't have a problem with Jason Hawes stepping in and doing it. I just don't. I understand there are people with problems. I don't have a problem with it. I think this is a cool opportunity to get everybody involved if they want to be involved. It's an option. It's not it's not a requirement, but if you do give a shit about the Conjuring house and you want to see something good happen to it, the old Arnold estate, the Harrisville farmhouse, you have an opportunity to step in and help. I mean, it would be kind of cool too if those people who donated had an opportunity to have something on the property with their names on it. I'm not giving. I don't want to sound like I'm like making ideas just so they have to do it now. No, you don't have to listen to a word I say. But like, if this was me at the helm of this, I would make it to where like I would put a plaque up somewhere dedicated to everybody who decided to throw money towards it as the reason why this location was saved. Maybe that's a bad idea. I don't know. There's going to be probably thousands of names. Who knows? But like, I think this is a cool, meaningful thing. And it being as iconic as it is, it would be neat. So it's just an idea. You don't have to do it. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Fuck my life, right? But again, this is a cool opportunity for a lot of people who actually genuinely want to see the place go to something or somebody decent. And who better than the community itself, right?
But I have to be 100% honest. Where I am in my life, I can't do this alone. I can't. This is going to take the community, the whole community, outside the community. It's going to take everybody coming together and just saying enough is enough. And we don't want to see these properties keep on being turned into these things. So for us to succeed, it's going to take everybody to step up to help save this property. Because I think together we can keep the Conjuring house alive and we can keep it open for future generations. I think that's the most important thing. So bottom line, if you can help, great. If you can't, totally understand. And I appreciate any support. As for the GoFundMe, and if it doesn't make enough, let's just be straight. If it doesn't make enough, then whatever. We can have other people in charge of it who can make sure there's refunds, can do whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
And we can set that up as well. But if you all want to see this property saved, if you all do want me to step in like people have been asking, fine. I'll do it. And I'll do it. I'll do it for everybody. But in return, I need everybody to help out as well. So again, if you can, great. If you can't, totally understand and respect that. So I guess
We'll see what happens.
we've got 20 something days, almost a month.
Yep.
Let's see what we can do as a community. Let's see what we can do as people who've just had enough and want to see better.
100%, man. Damn. Spot on. Really. I will absolutely be donating to this. I think to get an opportunity that Jason has given all of us, he's given everybody an opportunity to chime in. I will be donating to this. I will absolutely be sharing this to anybody and everybody. And I encourage people that if you are somebody who does not want to see this place fall into the hands of somebody that might be more thinking of it along the lines of a content house, you have a chance to help out. And that's phenomenal. As a community, it is a community effort to try to step in and be the ones to be like, no, we're taking that here and we're placing it right there. And we're going to keep it right there and give everybody an opportunity to have enjoyment with this location. I love it. I love the message. Such a positive message. I don't care who you are. Such a powerful, positive message. I want to know what you think in the comments section. Leave a like, subscribe, go support the original video. Go to the GoFundMe link, which I will be leaving in the description of this video. And if you are one of those souls who is like, yeah, we're gonna do something about that, go on over, support it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Do take care.